There was an old saying back in the day amongst Blue Bomber fans. It even became a marketing slogan, and that was believe in blue. But in 2023, and really over the last number of years, these championship seasons and Grey Cup appearance seasons for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, believe in blue has become, I think, a mentality of the team itself. You heard Drew Wolodarski say as much following his touchdown in the fourth quarter. He said, "We got this." Brady Oliveira mentioned it to TSN after the game. There's belief. Dalton Schoen said it at halftime to TSN. 10 points. It's nothing. This Blue Bombers team showed something today that I don't know if they've shown yet this season. They've shown it in years past. But boy, oh boy, did they ever play a different second half of football than they did in the first. Welcome inside Game Day After Dark. My name is Darrin Bauming. Thanks for joining us here on Winnipeg's postgame show. Your final score in overtime, Winnipeg Blue Bombers 34, BC Lions 26. And this victory not only secured the season series for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers against the BC Lions, it puts them into first place in the West. And their magic number is now 1. What does a magic number mean? 1 win by Winnipeg or 1 loss by BC would equal Winnipeg hosting the West Final on November 11th at IG Field. If Winnipeg loses out and BC wins out, and we'll get into the remaining schedules and all the stats and numbers. Schnitzy is waiting in the green room, ready to jump on. He's fired up, wearing the chain. I see you, Schnitzy. What's going on, buddy? Bring him in right away. We're going to watch some video highlights, lots to get to on the show. But Winnipeg would need to lose out and BC would need to win out in order for BC to surpass Winnipeg and win the West Division in the regular season. Here's the thing. As we bring in Zach Schnitzer. Schnitzy, this Blue Bombers team has done what they needed to do. And when all looked dire and lost, frankly, it was VA, dice the Bombers up. Throw. Pepper in a run. Throw. Deep shots. Dangerous shots. Winnipeg seemed to just figure it out. And the defense not only brought pressure, but just wouldn't allow BC to get any momentum going offensively like they did in the first half. What say you in this overtime victory? A huge one.
What a game, buddy. That was one of the most exciting Bomber wins I've ever seen in my entire life. And I know that might sound like hyperbole to some, but I don't actually think it is. Down by 10 with just over 2 minutes left. They have that miraculous like third down stand, Darrin, against former Winnipeg Blue Bomber Dominic Davis, who's a giant of a human being, should just be able to fall forwards. And they come back and they tie it up. And then you see this crazy play with Dominic Rhymes, who needs to go down. Thank goodness Cramdy missed him on the tackle, because if he would have tackled him, BC wins the game. They would have had 1 or 2 seconds left. I mean, and then they go to overtime. They've lost 2 overtime games this year. And then, I knew it as soon as we lost the toss and we're going first. I'm like, we've got this. I had a feeling, DB. I had a feeling, but Blues going into the bye week be damned. Blues going into the bye week be damned, I say. What an incredible game. I think one of the classic wins, or even just games, with the Bombers that I've seen in years. Just one of those classic games I'll never forget, and just so enjoyed watching it with my friends Andrew and Caitlin, especially Caitlin, who's a massive Bombers fan. Andrew was kind of just, he demurred us. He
along
was
for the
kind
ride.
he was along for the ride. He just loved seeing his wife and buddy happy, and what an incredible game, buddy.
Yeah, everybody in the live chat, great to see everybody. They're all saying, "Hey, Schnitzy, how are you?"
Hey, buddy.
Good friend since we were little kids, Derek McGoran. Zach is looking all smiles.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you are, man. You look and sound really good. Like, I
Well,
mean,
look
just
at the.
on a personal level, right? You're
Oh, of
clearly
course I look
happy
good.
because it's almost like the more bitter the toil is, the sweeter the victory is.
Oh, 100%. 100%, buddy. Like, I think me and many Bomber fans, all Bomber fans, were demoralized after that first half. We go down 20-10. We give them that freebie field goal. Uh, Instead of a one-score game, it's a two-score game
I know you didn't like
because
that. You were texting me.
I didn't like that call. I didn't like running it on second down and giving them the free shot there. I thought well, first of all, Jerry and Grant should have let that ball go into the end zone to give up a single. It was within the tens. He needs to let that go. But going down 20 and then for the defense to turn that game around where they were giving up big play after big play, the defense gave up 83 yards of offense in the second half and overtime. That's incredible. And then you have that third down stand.
Huge.
Oh my God. Like,
Well,
yeah,
and
almost threw up there. Yeah, no
yeah,
kidding.
Waiters saying, Waiter, great to see you, Waiters. One of the OGs here on Bonfire, one of the OG Firestarters. I almost threw up on the last play of regulation, says
Me
Waiters,
too.
watching live. Well, and you know what? Let's look at it. Let's get into some
Oh,
video
we were
highlights and
screaming.
start breaking
Caitlin and
this
I
one down.
screamed at the TV. She's got two little kids upstairs sleeping.
BC is going to take a shot. They've got Dominic Grimes at the 40, at the 30. Grimes
Andy misses
is
him.
going to score. No, Parker makes the tackle,
catches him.
and we're going to overtime. If he had gone down, they got time for a field goal.
So
Crazy.
if he had gone down, as Farhan Lalji rightly stated, they would have had time for a field goal. But Dom Rhymes, like, look, I'm going to forgive Dom Rhymes, not because forced overtime, whatever. Objectively, if I was his teammate, if I was his coach, I'd be disappointed in the result. But I forgive him because these guys are wired to score. And when you break a tackle, Davis Sanchez and Milt Stiegel debated this on the postgame. I agree with Davis in that he was breaking a tackle. He loses track. He likely look at that. The ball freaking bounced up in the air and he caught it.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Look at when the ball arrives. Look at it. It hits home and then it's bobbled up in the air. Incredible. Boop. Just like so there.
Incredible play.
Cramdy tries to take him down. He's unable to. Right there.
Thank goodness he doesn't take him down.
2 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
The best missed tackle of the Blue Bombers season. Right.
Right. Amazing. Like if he makes a tackle, we lose. It's incredible.
Yeah. And then people are saying, well, he should have gone down there. Well, like, think of this mentally bobbled. And what's he looking at? He's looking at like wide open spaces and the end zone.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know Cramdy's behind him. Looks over his shoulder. There he is. And like here's the whole thing. I'm not going to blame Dom Rhymes because in any other situation, you would try to break that tackle and score. And he's thinking score. Now, in hindsight, sure, he made the wrong decision.
But Darrin, don't you think the coaches coach them up in the little bit of a scrum or huddle they have before?
For sure. Yeah, Paul
Don't
Lapalese
they
mentioned that.
go down?
That you communicate that in the huddle. But he thought he was going to score a touchdown. He thought he was, but he knew it right there. He knew it. He knew it at the end. He grabs his head and knows he's not in.
I know. I know he's wired to score, but he doesn't need to score a touchdown, and he needs to know that.
hit the live chat. Let us know. Am I out to lunch? Is Milt Stiegel right? Is Davis Sanchez wrong? How did you see it? Hit the live chat. Hit the thumbs up while you're at it too. Great to see everybody joining us live on YouTube and Facebook. Maybe you're watching on Twitter. Head over to youtube.com/Bonfire Sports. Maybe you're listening to the podcast afterwards or the next morning. Maybe it's the next morning because this game started after dark, at least here in Winnipeg. And we are here on After Dark in the postgame. But I want to know your thoughts. Schnitzy reads the comments. So do I. Walby reads them too. So be sure to do that. You can text the hotline 204-816-TIPS, 816-8477. It's just like texting your mama. Standard message rates apply. This was one of many monumental moments in this game. Shifting moments, bonfire burning points, if you will. We got to get into Walby's Warrior, Westwood's wide to the right, the Happy Honker, the bonfire burning point, which you could probably put in the third quarter, the fourth quarter, overtime. Lots to be debated there. Hit the live chat and get to those as well. Just looking at my notes here, Schnitzy, the strip sacks on back-to-back drives for the Bombers. Dalton Schoen leaving the game. The Jekyll and Hyde job by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defense. Vernon Adams Jr., Zach Collaros, the mistakes, the pass rush, the tackling. Janarian Grant, I think, helped Winnipeg win this game more than a lot of people, I think, would give him credit for, just setting Winnipeg up at the 45, the 50, instead of, like maybe an 8, 10, 15-yard return like they, would get from Parker or McRae. Back pass. Westwood's wide to the right, too. There's some moments in this game that I don't think people liked particularly a lot. Penalty in the end zone. We'll get into that as well. Do you want to let's get into Walby's Warrior right off the hop before we get into some more highlights and that sort of thing. You got a Warrior tonight, Schnitzy? Who stands out to you?
Well, I see in the chat people are saying give it to Brady. Well, Brady's getting a game ball. I'm just going to give that away right now. Brady is getting one of my game balls. I am going to give I'm going to give 2 Warriors, buddy.
Love it.
One is to Zach Collaros. He fumbles the ball away on 2 consecutive drives in the red zone. You cannot do that. He's trying. He's like full tilt poker. He knows he's down. He's trying to get back up right away. Just take the sack, buddy. Just take the sack. Keep your hands on the ball. Give us a chance for a field goal. But as I always say about Zach Collaros, he is such a warrior. The mental fortitude of doing that 2 times and then coming back and throwing for 389 yards. 389 yards in the biggest game of the year, with all that difficulty, with all that adversity. He is a true warrior, Darrin. He is a true leader of this team. He's the best player on the team. He's the best player in the league, and he showed it there. I was mad at him, and he shouldn't have thrown that ball into double coverage. I think it was TJ Lee with the pick there, Darrin. He made some mistakes. He missed some guys today. Yep. But he comes back as a warrior. And the other warrior, I've never given it to 2 warriors, but there's 2 warriors. There's 2 warriors in this game, and another warrior is named Jamal Parker. This is a guy who who was much maligned in terms of getting back on the roster for the returns. He wasn't doing much, but he comes in with the injury to Demario Houston to slot in at the weak side corner. And they tried to pick on him, Darrin. Even that first big throw by Vernon, by VA to Lucky Whitehead, they tried to pick on him. He was right there in tight coverage, and he makes a game-saving tackle. Whether or not you think Dom Rhymes should have known to go down, he was going to the end zone if it wasn't for Parker taking him down. And I just think I love those stories where a guy who is maybe criticized a little bit, who comes in spot duty in a very important position and at the corner position. I think for him to do what he did, I think he's a warrior as well. So I have co-warriors.
I like it. I do not disagree. So I'm going to give my warrior to somebody a little bit different. And of course, following Walby's Warrior, we do Westwood's wide to the right. So before we do Westwood's wide to the right, and as I mentioned my Warrior, let's look at the stats here for the Blue Bombers offense. Let me get rid of this so we can see my Warrior. There was a play in this game, Schnitzy. Did you notice the play this guy made?
Yeah.
Rasheed Bailey, 2 catches on 3 targets, 48 yards. Okay. I mean, Schoen at 86, Oliveira at 85, plus 73 on the ground. Kenny Lawler was a beast tonight, 9 for 97 when everybody was kind of sleeping on him. Huge game for Drew Wolodarski, getting to the end zone. Picking up a second down conversion. He was, two clutch catches for him. Same with Dembski, 18-yard run and a catch as well, or a couple catches for 16 yards. Rasheed Bailey putting his shoulder into Jalen Edwards-Cooper. And I don't know if you noticed, but Jalen Edwards-Cooper had his shoulder therapy taped. What's therapy tape? Well, so too did Dalton Schoen. You see those like strips of tape, often colored a bright color. They'll have them wherever on their body, their neck, their back, their legs, their arms. Jalen Edwards-Cooper had his left shoulder therapy tape. So he's dealing with something there, right? Sometimes it's just muscle fatigue or whatever. Rasheed Bailey was watching Jalen Edwards-Cooper hit guys in coverage, watching Jalen Edwards-Cooper be physical with and really play a physical style of game for a DB. Push guys out of bounds, maybe when you don't have to. It's a little bit, plays on the edge, Jalen Edwards-Cooper. Took some penalties tonight too, one for sure. Rasheed Bailey catches a little crossing route and absolutely buries his shoulder into Jalen Edwards' shoulder. Perfect tackle form and perfect finish on a run for a ball carrier. And Bailey popped up and spun the ball because he knew he was the hammer and not the nail. For that play alone, for a guy that is, I like the way Farhan Lalji put it, kind of the forgotten guy in this receiving corps. I've had people in the live chat even call it out. Like, Bauming, what are you doing, man? You're mentioning all the guys. You're not mentioning Rasheed Bailey. Guilty. He's my Warrior tonight because it does not matter to Rasheed Bailey. They call him Showtime Sheed for a reason. When he steps on the field, doesn't matter if he gets thrown to 3 times or 13 times. It's showtime. He plays so friggin' hard. Huge kudos to Rasheed Bailey. It's plays like that puts doubt in defensive backs, in the defense, in the opponent. Rasheed Bailey helped this team win tonight with more than just 48 yards on 2 catches. Monster. That's my Walby's Warrior.
Love that Warrior call, buddy. I just don't think he gets enough love, Bailey. And when he does show up on screen like that, we got to celebrate it.
Agreed. Zach Collaros, 75% passing, 389 yards, as you mentioned, Schnitzy. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 fumbles. Now, I've got an issue with calling a strip sack a fumble. The first one, I will call that a fumble, okay? Yeah. He gets spun around and whatever. The second one that Tehama rips out of him, and he rumbled 51 yards for a return. I'm not putting that on Zach Collaros. That's just that's a strip sack. Quarterbacks aren't meant to protect the football. They're meant to do things with the football. And
don't you think they still have to protect the football though?
Well, yes, of course. You check me, I'll take it. Of course they're supposed to protect the football. But when the mayhem is happening around them and you expect them to make a play, make a throw, make a decision in those fractions of a second, that's going to happen once in a while. Yeah, protect the football. Absolutely. And did Collaros need to be better protecting the football tonight? No question. But that second one is the one that I'm not going to hang on the quarterback. He played a good game, nearly 400 yards passing.
Yeah.
One pick. The pick was a costly one, but it was early.
If anything, I thought the second one was one where he maybe should have been more careful with the ball because it looked like he was being taken to the ground, but he was still trying to get it out of his, like he was trying to pass it off or something. Whereas the first one, he gets spun right into Betts and can't even see him. It seemed to me like the second one was one he should have had back, but that's just me.
Yeah. Right. I've got a look at one right here. Let's pull up the highlights. Do you guys like the highlights? I want to know in the live chat.
Yeah,
I don't know.
baby.
Do
We
you
love
get
the highlights.
do you get video highlights anywhere else? I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
So this is the one from Betts where Kolaris spins and tries to evade pressure. And Betts coming off the edge, like he just speed rushes Jamarcus Hardrick and blindsides Zach Kolaris, even though that is not his blind side. But like Betts is, what's he got? 16 sacks this year.
Yeah, he's crazy good.
He's chasing Brent Johnson.
Is it just me, or is he kind of annoying though?
That video,
he's just kind of an annoying guy.
Yeah, no. He's an eclectic personality.
Okay.
Like,
there, like Zach doesn't even see him there, so I don't know if I put that on Zach.
No, that one I don't put on Zach. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up. But well, look, Betts, that video that the Lions put out about, hey, we got a big game tomorrow, come watch, or like, he says it's so deadpan.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
No, that was kind of funny. I just the jawing he was doing and how good he is. You don't get called annoying if you're don't do anything. Like he's annoying because he's really good.
Yeah, if you're a defender and you're annoying, it's almost like
that's good.
That's kudos.
Sandy also agrees. She can't stand Betts. There you go.
Good to
I
see
know
you,
I'm right
Sandy.
when Sandy agrees with me.
Yeah, good to see you, Sandy.
Man, I can't even keep up with the live chat because it's like, dude, it's like rapid fire. There's so many people in the chat just machine gunning.
There's 700 comments in the live chat.
I love it.
Oh, and you know what? I got to do this. Big kudos to these individuals. Sasha gave us a super chat, $10.
Oh, wow.
Sasha gave us $10, Schnitzy. That $10 is yours.
Sasha.
That $10 is yours, man.
And I will give it right back to you to go buy some hats.
Travis with a super chat. Great game. Thanks, Bonfire, for the coverage. Go Blue, says Travis. $2.79. You've got the $10. I'm taking the $2.79.
Okay. You take the $2.79.
Right.
I didn't even know they had the super chat capability on this.
Yeah. Big ups to the super chats. I think we might have had one before, but I didn't even know. It's like my streaming software now has this feature where I can see it.
Yeah.
Get this. Okay. So you got the $10. I got the $2.79. I'll give you this one too, Schnitzy. Super chat from the one and only Ryan Friesen. $20. That's yours, Schnitzy. You guys enjoy your Thanksgiving. Thank God that the BC player decided it wasn't a good idea to go down, but to go for it all. The West Division is Winnipeg's. Edmonton is mentally done. Keep up the good work on Hazeldale.
Yeah,
Inside
baby.
Joke to finish it off.
900 block. Go check it out. Come see me there. That's where I live. 975 Hazeldale, baby.
Thanks, Friesen. Appreciate the love.
Thank you, Friesen. That's really nice of you, man.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, you're right. The live chat is just ripping. I can't keep up, but love everybody.
Dude, we captured first place in the freaking West Division. Yeah. Like it's essentially ours. It's a first round bye. It's like winning 2 games.
Another super chat from the Rum Hut, $4.20. Might stick to the rum, but thank you.
Thank you, Rum Hut.
So you got $30, and I got what? I got $2.79 and $4.20. So I might have enough for a pop.
I like $4.20.
Yeah,
$4.20, baby.
Let's keep it PC.
Keep it PG.
After dark here. PG, sorry. PC. What is it? Neither.
PC, PG. I don't know.
Yeah. B Henderson. I wonder the golfer, Brooke Henderson. $20 will get you a quarter turkey. I'll take it. I'll take it. Happy early Thanksgiving to everybody. The gravy bowl. I didn't really understand that.
Well, like gravy goes in a bowl, so it's a gravy bowl, like a game.
I get it.
I
Doesn't
guess.
doesn't
I
the
didn't
gravy
love
go in
it.
a boat?
I didn't love it.
I thought gravy goes in a boat.
Actually, yeah, you're right. It does go in a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, gravy bowl, I didn't love it. Didn't love it, but whatever.
So let me pull this up here. This one. This is the one that I'm not hanging on Colaris. Okay. Let me see if I can bring it in here. Bring it in here. Let's bring it back.
2nd and 10 line show pressure, but don't. This time, a sack. Colaris brought down on another fumble. Sione Tuhema has it. The whistle is not gone.
Could he have protected the ball better there?
Inside the 40.
Yeah.
To the 32.
I thought like he was trying to maybe make a play on it when the play was clearly over, and he should have just taken the sack, but
knocking on the door, and for the 2nd time in this half, Colaris fumbles the ball.
And we'll get another look here.
Yeah, Zach stepping up here. He's going to try to eat it right here, but
Yeah.
he can't corral
oh,
it.
he tries to eat it. You're right.
Just snipe
You
it
know,
right
he's trying to
out.
make something happen. I don't know. I mean, you probably, oh, that's not the right one. Hang tight.
Where am
Oh my
I?
gosh. I've got the pinwheel of death. You Macintosh users will know what I mean with the pinwheel of death. There he is. Got you back on there, Schnitzy.
Yeah, buddy.
He's trying to make something happen. Should he, could he have protected the football better? Yes. But I mean, that's tough. Here's the question. Who's the M.O.P between these two quarterbacks? And also, is Brady the M.O.P? And then I have a follow-up question after that. I think is the most important one.
Oh, who cares? We won. No, I mean, I think the M.O.P between Adams and sure. The M.O.P between Adams and Colaris, I think it's Colaris. I think he outplayed Adams. Adams was completely neutered in the second half in overtime. They figured him
what
out.
you did there.
Yeah.
Brought-ins, neutered.
Yeah,
Well done.
sometimes I have a good one there.
Yeah.
I think he was shut down. I think Adams looked great in the first half, but if you're an M.O.P, you got to look good the whole game.
Do
And
you?
Colaris, I think so. I think you have to be consistently good the whole game.
So Adams finished with, I don't know, 30, 40 yards less than Colaris passing, nearly 20% less efficient with the football because it was just 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 in the second half.
Yeah.
One touchdown, no interceptions. Didn't have much help on the ground. Mizell, well, they just didn't run the ball.
They don't they have the lowest rushing attempts in the league.
Yeah, it used to be Hamilton. Now it's them. Wherever James Butler leaves.
Yeah, did Tommy Condell travel to BC? Is he playing? Is he one of the coaches?
Maybe.
Hey, I can take shots at Condell. Is he a buddy of yours?
No, I didn't say anything.
You were taking umbrage there, Darrin.
Yeah. Well, no. You're
Well,
reading.
he's a former Ticat after all.
You're reading into to that one. Jogging Doggy says, "What's the status of Dalton Schoen?"
Yeah, what happened to him?
No update. And I don't think we'll get one. I mean,
no, not from the Bombers.
What year are we of Mike O'Shea now? We're into his what is it? His third contract?
10th year, I think.
We're into his fourth contract because it was like contract extension. I think we're into his fourth contract. This is the Blue Bombers now.
Yeah.
If a player gets hurt, you won't know until, reporters at practice start to, investigate. And by that, I mean, look on the field, because you ask the coach, he won't tell you. You ask the players, they won't tell you. Yeah, so no update. Bombers are on the bye as well right now.
So Adams has 354 yards. It's nothing to sneeze at, but I think Zach outplayed him today.
Yep.
So I would give it to Zach. Now, would I give it to Brady or Zach? Boy, that's a hard one. I mean, in some ways the quarterback is a default because they play the hardest position in sports. The ball is in their hand, almost 100% of the, well, not 100% of the snaps, but on offense, 100% of the snaps, except when Prukop comes in. But man, it's a hard. Like I can't tell you right now because what Brady did with 158 yards of combined offense, scoring that touchdown in overtime from 9 yards out, Darrin. I think he was 8 for 8 receiving the ball, so he didn't even drop any balls, and he stabbed one out of the air with one hand. That's nice. A running back making a one-handed catch, stabbing a ball out of the air. I know it was only a 3-yard gain or wherever it was, but man, Brady is something else.
Well, and Brady's the reason why Winnipeg had nearly 500 yards of net offense to 350 for the Leos, because the Lions don't run the ball. Collaros out through both percentage and yardage Vernon Adams. And then Brady ran for a whole bunch on the ground. Like the run game and the way he's able to take over late. Like let me read you Winnipeg's final possession of regulation. It was a 7-play, 37-yard drive that Castillo capped with a 28-yard field goal. It was Oliveira runs for 6, catches for 13. That was the one-handed grab.
Oh, was that a 13-yard gain?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think I'm mistaken, but either way. So run for 6, catch for 13, catch for 2, run for 12, run for 5. Then Collaros throws an incompletion and Castillo kicks a 28-yard field goal. That was Winnipeg's final possession of regulation. So it's Brady. So this is my question to you and to the live chat, everybody out there. The conversation is Collaros versus Vernon Adams for West Division M.O.P. Who will face Chad Kelly at the national voting level? But here in Winnipeg, like, it's a distinct possibility Brady Oliveira usurps Zach Collaros for most outstanding player. And then this is my question. Will it do justice to the entirety of it? Because I don't see Brady Oliveira beating out Vernon Adams Jr. just because of the positions that they play. Now, here in Winnipeg, we watch these players a lot closer. And some people will vote based on, some of the guys, some people will vote on, well, the quarter, if it's a toss up, give it to the quarterback. They play a tougher position. Others will weigh it differently. I haven't decided myself. I have the honor of voting, being one of the 5 media voters here in Winnipeg. The head coach in every market gets a vote as well. But if Brady beats out Collaros for Winnipeg's most outstanding player nominee, I don't think Brady will beat out Vernon Adams Jr.
Really?
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong because I hope I'm wrong if Collaros isn't the nominee. Because if Collaros is the nominee, I think he'll represent the West. And let's remember the most important part of all of this. Zach Collaros has won 2 straight M.O.P. awards, and a 3rd straight is unprecedented. It's Doug Flutie.
Unless
it's Doug Flutie shit. It's Doug Flutie shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But do you think, do you think Brady might be short of the most outstanding player on the Bombers just because he's such a landslide for most outstanding Canadian?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if that'll factor.
Can you be both?
Of course.
But I think the fact that he's Canadian, that way he gets an award and Zach gets an award, right? Like maybe that's the way
Yeah,
they
but this
think
is
of it.
pro football here, right? It's not about spreading the love around with participation trophies.
Maybe it is if Mike O'Shea's voting because he wants everybody to feel the love, but
Sure,
maybe not from the media.
maybe. Yeah, yeah. That's a good question. That's a really good question. 5 for 58 and 2 for 45. That 31-yard pass interference on I think it was Jalen Edwards Cooper. Winnipeg was unable to capitalize on that, but what a huge! I think that was the Tehama strip sack. But man, uh, some of those opportunities Winnipeg had in the first half. The M.O.P question, I mean, we're gonna have a long time we're gonna have a lot of time to disseminate all of that, right? We're gonna have a lot of time to disseminate all that. Bombers on a bye this week. They then wrap their regular season home to Edmonton on Friday, October 21st at the Madhouse, IG Field. And then they wrap up in Calgary, CFL Week 21, Friday, October 27th. That's an 8 p.m. kickoff Central Time, 6 p.m. On Saturday, the 21st in Winnipeg. The BC Lions, meanwhile, also have one bye remaining, and it's in Week 21. So if BC, I mean, you could say will win, whatever. BC has a bye the final week of the regular season. If they win the West, which is slim right now, chances, they would have back-to-back byes going into a West final. Probably not going to be the case, but they are in Hamilton next week as the Bombers are on the bye. BC is then home to Calgary, and then the bye to finish the regular season. So again, Winnipeg's magic number 1. Magic number meaning 1 Bombers win or 1 Lions loss, and Winnipeg secures the West Division title. We'll host the West Final November 11th at IG Field.
Who do you give the M.O.P to, DB?
In Winnipeg?
Between Vernon and Zach, and then Zach and Brady.
Oh, it's not an easy decision. It's not an easy decision. 2019 was a very tough ballot for a lot of reasons, and we don't need to disseminate into all of that. But this is a really tough ballot, really tough. I gave Derek Taylor credit on Twitter yesterday, I think it was, or maybe the day before, because he laid out some good thoughts, and the whole thing was a lot of people don't like, they look at Zach Collaros and say, well, he's not as good as he was last year or the year before. That doesn't mean he's not outstanding. He's still very, very good. Yards per attempt, efficiency, scoring, big playability, all of those things are important to weigh into all of this. Some say, well, Brady Oliveira, he has the offensive line opening holes for him. Well, watch how he runs. Don't you think the offensive line helps a quarterback do their job too? So most valuable player? No. Most outstanding player? It's tough. I can't give you an answer. I can't give you an answer today. I'm going to have to come up with an answer soon. Very soon. Those ballots are
yeah,
going
you're going to
soon.
vote. You're
But fans can go vote. So Schnitzy, you go to CFL.ca and you vote who is your M.O.P in Winnipeg and in the West.
Yep.
I'm asking you, who do you?
Oh,
who
you're
do you
asking me right now.
Yeah, sorry.
You,
It's like Granny Bomber fan. What's your answer, DB? Answer the question.
You asked me a question. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, you feel like me.
I think if I think about it right now, I think it's Collaros, but because I think Collaros, it's just the position, it's the bias maybe.
John
I
Chan
think,
brings up too many turnovers this season.
yeah. Well, he's thrown more picks than he did last year already. So he's lost a couple fumbles here and there, but Brady's lost a few fumbles as well. But I don't know, man. I think a good case could be made for either of them. I guess I like to spread the love. So give Zach Collaros the M.O.P. Give Brady Oliveira the most outstanding Canadian. With an honorable mention to Nick Dembski, who almost has 1,000 yards. He keeps creeping ever closer, Darrin, to that 1,000 yards, but he's not quite there. I think he only had 16 yards of receiving today or something.
So Chris Walby and I on Game Day Winnipeg in our pregame show we do always here on Bonfire, we debated our Blue Bombers ballot. Very tough to find most outstanding rookie. Damian Jackson, Jamison Sheehan. It's tough. Okay. But we were kind of hung on most outstanding defensive player. Jefferson, Jeff Coat, Dietrich Nichols, Evan Holm. I think Evan Holm's an all-star. I don't know if he's
Mario
MODP.
Houston.
DeMario, of course.
Yeah. Yep. It's tough. There's a few you could pick there, man. Like
off the top of your head, who do you like as most outstanding defensive player? I would love to hear the live chat. Let us know who's the most outstanding defensive player on the Blue Bombers this year and why. It's tough.
I think it'll be Jefferson, but you could argue it could be Nichols. You could argue it be Jeff Coat. I don't think it'll be Jeff Coat though, because I think Jefferson has more stats and he's been healthier. I don't think they'll give it to a defensive back. It's so hard to give it to a defensive back, it seems. I don't know why, but it's too bad. But defensive backs don't usually get the love unless they have a bunch of interceptions like Houston. But off the top of my head, I think they'll give it to Jefferson. He got a sack tonight, maybe more than one. We had what, 6 sacks tonight?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Many of them in the second half.
Says Willie Jefferson had a horrible night. I don't completely disagree, but I also don't agree.
A horrible? Is he being tongue in cheek? He had a couple of knockdowns. He had a sack.
He also had some plays where he kind of looked out of discombobulated,
Yeah. Nice word, discombobulated. Underused.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm enjoying the live chat. Keep it up, guys. Love that. And hit the thumbs up if you haven't yet. There are times where Willie looks like he's maybe taking the playoff or not fully there. I don't know how to describe it.
I know what you mean.
Doesn't look like his normal self. And then there's other times where he's like, I'm going to bull rush this guy and then I'm going to rip and get through. And, there's other times where I'm going to take on 2 guys. I'm going to take on the guard and the tackle and look over them and jump up and knock a pass down. So it's kind of like, if you had Alexander Ovechkin in like 2006, right? Where you get him on the power play and he's probably going to score and, he's going to pot 50, but he's also going to be a defensive liability at times. And, you can't really rely on him to, check his man all the time. Now, Ovechkin turned his career around because he tried to become a more complete player. They gave him more leadership opportunities. He became the captain and won a Stanley Cup. Different, obviously, for Willie Jefferson. But he's just so friggin' good. He's so dang good. And then there's times where you're like, what was he doing on that play? Where's the effort? So
do you think it maybe more stands out more because he's so big and tall and rangy that you can tell when he's maybe not giving it his all, or maybe he is giving it all and doesn't look like it because he's so tall and rangy. And if he's looking to knock down a pass, maybe it just looks like he's standing there doing nothing, just to play the devil's advocate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's, the way a lot of people or some people see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Taylor, watching live on YouTube. What's going on, Taylor? Willie is such a good human. I completely agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a huge fan of Willie as a person. Beautiful family, lovely people. They're just good people. And you know, Willie, you know, I've had a ton of respect for Willie just as a man, for years, really since he came to Winnipeg. Um, yeah, no doubt. I mean, but football's football. We're gonna dice it up. We're gonna dice it up.
Well, and some people making a good point here on the chat saying that maybe they should rotate him in more. Maybe he's not as fresh as he needs to be. I thought they did a little more rotating in this game than they have in past games. They dressed how many, like 7 defensive linemen or something. I think it was
Another
more
team's
than we
dressing like
usually
9.
see. Yeah,
Yeah.
but sometimes we've only been dressing like 5 or 6.
Yep. Yeah. 6 versus yeah. It doesn't sound like a lot, but like 6 versus 8 or 6 versus 9 is a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Waka Waka says, you know, do we want sacks more or potential interceptions? I think it's just about disruption. You know, a sack is, you know, like a slam dunk. It's more deflating to the opponent. It's flashier, but it's, you know, and yeah, the offense loses yards, but it's the same thing as an incompletion. It's the same thing as a tackle, you know, at the line of scrimmage. Uh, it's just you're hitting the quarterback, you're taking him down. That's a hard thing to do, and I think it's just a little bit of an exclamation point. But a pass knockdown, I think, is similar to a slam dunk, not physically, literally, but figuratively, it's similar in that the quarterback is clean and delivers, and he's just gets a big mid up on it. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's as deflating for the opponent. So I don't know how many knockdowns he has this year, but it's off the charts. It's, you know,
I
it's
think it's like
him and then a
16
bunch of
or 17.
DBs. Yeah,
Yeah, 16 or 17.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Yeah. This is good. Okay, what's your burning point, buddy?
Oh, we didn't do Westwood's wide to the right. I'll just
Or
say
burning point?
quickly. Oh, you want to do Burning Point? We always do Westwood's wide to the right after Walby's Warrior.
Oh, sorry, buddy. You're right. We do. I
Oh,
have it
that's
written
okay.
down in a different
No,
order.
we can do it that way.
No, we can't. We got to stick to the script.
Well, I'll be brief. Bonfire Burning Point was the penalty on Reda Cramdy in the end zone. O'Shea challenged it. Some people don't like the challenge. I know you and I were kind of debating it, you know, via text during the game, Schnitzy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not the right penalty. Cramdy is entitled to his space, and he didn't do anything to encroach on. I think it was Hatcher. Was it Hatcher or Rhymes?
I
Anyway,
don't
the receiver
remember.
space didn't played it well. The back judge, I think, just miscalled it.
Yeah.
But to your point, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you know, you
Go
didn't
ahead.
like the challenge because it's a difficult one to overturn on video review. That's right.
I thought it was a BS call. I agree with you there. I didn't like the call at all. I hated it, but yeah, I didn't like the challenge because I just didn't think there would be enough to overturn it. And they're not going to overturn those unless there's clear and obvious evidence. And so I just didn't think it was there.
Yeah, agreed. Okay. Is that your Westwood ride to the right? Something you didn't like in the game?
My Westwood ride to the right is the Colares fumbles. Just didn't
Okay.
love the fumbles. I mean, I think one of 2 of them was maybe a little more on him. I just didn't like fumbling it in the red zone. You never like to see your team give it away in the red zone. That's crushing. And it happened twice in a row. I think they happened back to back on back-to-back drives, buddy. So that was my Westwood wide to the right. Or those were my Westwood wide to the rights.
Good nights wide to the rights.
That's right.
Bonfire
Sun's
Burning
out, guns
Point.
out. What?
Bonfire Burning Point. I'm going to throw this one out there. Tell me what you think.
Lurch drops back, bets right in his face, and he has a touchdown. Drew Wolotarski at the goal line, and the Bombers are right in this football game.
Yeah.
This capped a 9-play, 70-yard drive lasting 3 minutes, 31 seconds. Midway through, or as you see there, late in the fourth quarter, to bring Winnipeg to within 3. And with 2:20 remaining, it was far from decided. Far from decided that Winnipeg had enough time to get there. But that was the bonfire burning point to me. Just that was the moment where it really looked like Winnipeg could win, even with 2:20 remaining and still trailing by, a field goal.
And for me, I mean, it's that's maybe a 1B. Why 1A is on the ensuing drive for BC. They go for it on third down and they get stuffed by the Bombers. And for me, that's the burning point, because then the Bombers come and tie the game at 26. And then as soon as we lost the toss, ironically, in overtime, and we were going to go first, I just had this feeling that we had all the momentum. DB, the BC Lions had only mustered 83 yards of offense in the entire half. I just thought it was okay then.
Well, as Fozzie Bear would say, waka waka.
Waka waka indeed. Have your babies. That's good, waka waka. I love it. Waka Waka is continuing with brilliant comments. But yeah, I thought the burning point was stuffing them on third down, buddy.
I like that one too. Hit the live chat, everybody. Let us know your bonfire burning point. It's not that TSN other thing. It's the bonfire burning point.
That's
Let
right.
us know yours tonight. Well, with Waka Waka comes the Happy Honker Award.
Happy Honker, baby.
In homage to the late, great Cactus Jack Wells. Moment that brought levity and joy to tonight's game. Some people mentioning in the live chat the amount of blue and gold supporters in the stands. True blue believers, as I talked about right off the top of the show. Believe in blue. The Bombers are believing in themselves. Those fans are taking those sometimes cheap flights from Winnipeg to Vancouver and never cheap hotel nights in Vancouver, and making the sushi and a Blue Bombers win worth it. And great to see all of those fans making the pilgrimage.
Absolutely. That was my happy honker, was all the blue ball. Like, you could see them in the stands. My God, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
It looked like half the stadium was full of Blue Bombers fans. It was incredible.
I know you ran out of your friend's house, but when, to get home to do the show, but when Kolaris talked to TSN after the game, he said it was unbelievable, and incredible, I think were the words he used to describe all those fans that were at the game and have that, that support travel 2 time zones west. Waiters says his happy honker is seeing Janarian Grant back. I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Grant.
that.
Grant, I mean, were you surprised to see them use Grant on offense after he got injured on offense in the first place?
Yeah, I was. Walby and I talked about that on the pregame show too. And if you guys haven't watched Game Day Winnipeg, the pregame show, go check it out. We get into some good debates, and Walby's just a gem. He's got such great insight on really the game as a whole, both teams, right? I was a little bit surprised. We talked about that. The way he got hurt on kind of like a nothing, don't need to be in the offense situation. But it works. He was pretty dang good. I like this comment from Snurley. Snurley says, Katoy piecing out Rose on the TD was hilarious. Yeah, I'm sure Winston didn't like it, or the Bombers, or a lot of fans, but Katoy broke a tackle, or I guess, maybe it should have been a tackle, but it was more about swiping at the ball for Winston Rose. That's what you do when you score. You kind of flash it in the face of your opponent, right?
I didn't have a problem with it.
No, I've never had a problem with that. I mean, some people won't like it because it was their team, it happened against their team. Vicky Short says, Happy Honker, Mike O'Shea going crazy with the Parker stop.
Yeah. I love it when you get some emotion out of O'Shea, right? It's always going to be a highlight.
Yeah.
And potentially a happy honker. Vicky.
Did
Vicky, how you doing?
Did it screw with you at all when they show, like on the TV broadcast, they show a play happening left to right, and then they cut to the bench and O'Shea's like, yeah, cheering from right to left? Because
No.
in BC, I think both teams are on the same sideline.
Oh, are they just like the East Division?
Is it the East Division?
Yeah, in the East Division, the teams are on the same sideline. In the West, they're on opposing sidelines.
Well, not in BC.
Not in BC. I guess BC
In
is
the
the
East? I've
aberration.
never heard that before. In the
Yeah.
East.
Yeah. That's my understanding. Maybe people on the live chat can smarten us up here.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
So in the Grey Cup, when it was in Regina, they were going to be on opposing sides. But I think when the Grey Cup was East, they were on. No, I'm wrong. I think for the Grey Cup they're on opposing sides, but I think in the East Division they're on the same side. I think I've heard that somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Sasha pointing out that Zach Collaros looked a little bit pissed off during
He
that
certainly
postgame
did. I
on
love it when
TSN.
he looks pissed.
Yeah,
Emotional.
I understand what you're saying. I don't think that's him pissed off. I think that's him still mentally hyper focused.
Maybe. Maybe just engaged.
Yeah.
But it's just like maybe pissed isn't the right word, but like engaged, and Zach Collaros if he's engaged, him being engaged is kind of like
He's a killer.
Yeah, he's got this killer instinct. He's got this look in his eyes, and you can see he's visibly different in an interview, like on a practice day, Darrin. When you're interviewing him, he's calm, he's relaxed, he's kind of, hesitant in what he says a little bit even, but he is just lasered in post game. I think you're right. I think this is just gamer Zach, but gamer Zach is killer instinct in the zone, right?
Yeah.
Waka Waka says in the zone.
Waka Waka killing the game in the live chat tonight.
There's a lot of people killing it in the live chat.
Yeah, it's great to see. We're at
Zach just used up all that 420.
We're coming up on 1,350 comments in the live chat and hundreds watching live. We were up to 350 early as we approach 1:30 a.m. Central Time here.
No kidding. Oh my God, it's past my bedtime, DB.
It is.
What the heck is going on here?
Yeah, I was going to say I've had about enough of you and it's time to go to bed, Zach.
Fine then, I'll go to my
bed. Game balls, let's go. You only get a quarter dozen.
You know what? It's funny you say that because I have 13 game balls. They're a baker's dozen. One is for Brady Oliveira for 158 combined yards. I think he had 75 on the ground. I can't do the math, how many he had through the air, but 80 something. You could pull it up if you want, but I mean, he was incredible. And then the other 12 game balls go to the Bomber defense. The whole defense gets, you can't just give it to the D line because without the DBs covering guys, the quarterback isn't ripe for the picking and vice versa. I just thought that the whole defense clamped down in the second half, Darrin, and they really shut it down. 83 yards, like I said, in the second half. And until that Dominic Rhymes last play for 50 yards or whatever, they only had 43 yards of offense.
Yep.
So I just thought the defense as a whole really clamped down, and it's a 12-man unit. It's not just the DBs. It's not just, it's not just the D line.
I will give it to the 13th man, and I'm not talking about the fans. Richie Hall for the defensive adjustments he and his staff employed at halftime. Incredible. Yeah. Incredible. Let me read you guys something here, okay? Third quarter, Winnipeg opens with a 7-play, 38-yard drive, kick a field goal. Castillo from 37 yards out makes it 20-13, okay? BC steps on the field. Malik Clements gets a sack, and it was still a 10-play drive, but it only went 42 yards total or net, 23-13. So they had a 10-play drive, okay, but settle for a field goal. Winnipeg responds with a 5-play, 55-yard drive. Castillo field goal, it's 23-16. BC, 2 and out. Grant with a nice punt return. Sets Winnipeg up with some good field position. Betts with the strip sack, and Tehama recovers and brings it back 51 yards to, or pardon me, Tehama falls on it on the BC 27. It was the next one he brought back. BC, another 2 and out. So Winnipeg's defense allows a field goal on a long but not long distance drive. Then go force a 2 and out, force another 2 and out, and then it's another strip sack by the Lions defense. So Winnipeg's defense has to step on the field and continue to hang in and keep their team in it. And it's a 2 and out, but not out. The third down, Sean White kicks a 40-yard field goal because Sione Tehama took it back 51 yards to the Winnipeg 32-yard line. So Winnipeg stood strong. They forced 2 and out, and then stood tall and forced BC into another field goal. So in the second half, they allowed 2 field goals, forced 2 and outs, and then it's late in the fourth quarter. Drew Wolodarski caps a 9-play, 70-yard Blue Bombers drive, 3.5 minutes off the clock to make it 26-23. That was my bonfire burning point. And then your bonfire burning point came on the next Blue Bombers defensive possession. Turnover on downs. Mizell runs for 2. Adams runs for 7. He reaches the ball. Remember, he reaches the ball? Maybe that was in the first half. Remember, he reached the ball and Dunnigan mentioned, I think he didn't. He was out of bounds when he was reaching that forward.
Oh, is that
so
right?
You can't grant him that. But yeah, so Winnipeg goes 2 and out, hold 2 plays and then a 40-yard field goal, and then a turnover on downs. So BC had 2, 4, 7, 10 plays and barely any freaking yards in the second half after that, 42-yard drive that White was able to cap with a field goal on their first possession of the third quarter. Winnipeg's defense and Richie Hall's adjustments and his staff. That's why I can give him my game ball too.
Nice.
They're so dang good. So
Richie Hall, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but early in the game when people on social media were like, "Oh, the Bombers defense, they're not playing very well. What's going on? How come they didn't show up in the biggest game of the year?" I understand VA was just, gashing them. Okay, he had the axe out and he was just gashing. But Winnipeg, I thought, was aggressive. Maybe not on the back end, but they were aggressive at the line of scrimmage. And they weren't able to produce, but I thought they were aggressive. I liked that approach. BC handled it incredibly well and took advantage, but I liked the way Winnipeg put all that together.
Yeah.
I think they just added a wrinkle or made a small adjustment to a BC wrinkle in the second half, and it all kind of came together.
Yeah, it's almost like they just found that one little thing to make the defense click to get BC off their game. Maybe they just found that wrinkle, right?
Yep.
Someone on the chat was saying that BC was faking the hitch and then throwing deep, or Vernon Adams was, and maybe they were able to scheme against that. I don't know, but whatever they did, it worked.
Yeah. This Blue Bombers team, the reason they are championship pedigree every year for the last 4 years is because they're a team that just knows how to win. And yeah, they lose games and they make mistakes and they falter. Every team does. But there's something in the way that you can coach guys all, 6 ways from Sunday. I don't know if you can instill belief from coaching. I think that has to come organically. And Walby gave me a lot of grief on the pregame about using the word organically. But
he doesn't like organic.
No.
He likes bionic.
He likes yes, that's right. All the preservatives. But it's Adam Bighill. It's Andrew Harris, Nick Dembski, Zach Collaros, Jamarcus Hardrick, Pat Neufeld, Rasheed Bailey, Drew Wolotarski. It's Brandon Alexander, Jackson Jeffcoat, Jake Thomas. It's a lot of those guys, and amongst others, of course. I'm not going to name them all. I could probably name everybody, but some of those, I think those guys, Mike Miller, Jesse Briggs, those are the guys that set the tone in the position groups, on defense, on offense, on special teams, and collectively in that locker room. That's why this Blue Bombers team, they have belief, because it's the CFL. It's the crazy football league. It's the CFL. Crazy.
Yeah. You never know what's going to happen.
You never, ever know. You never, ever know. And if you don't know, where do you go? Come here to Game Day After Dark. We'll break it down for you.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a fun game, fun night. Just one of the most memorable games I've ever seen. And for the good reasons, right? Like, I try and forget about the bad ones. Of course, they're still in the back of my head, but
that's part
to
of
come,
it.
Yeah, I know, but without the bad ones, you don't have the good ones, and feeling the highs like you have tonight. Like, just to come back from 10 down when they were out of it, unbelievable game by the Bombers, unbelievable heart and belief. Yes, Waka Waka is the M.O.P of the chat. If you're listening on podcast, folks, and you're thinking, oh, that chat sounds fun, it is fun. Catch us live on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. This is where it's at.
Yep. Yeah, and then you can watch some of the video highlights we pulled up as well, and you can see how Schnitzy is beaming from earlobe to earlobe today.
Yeah, I am beaming.
So, Schnitzy, I mentioned it a little bit briefly on Game Day Winnipeg, our pregame show, about Bonfire Mid-Week.
Yes.
And we should speak more at length about that because, group decision, you and me, brother.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yes, we can't speak too long about it because my kids are going to be up soon, as Vicky Short so nicely points out. Thanks, Vicky. I know that already.
And thanks, Rum Hut. Another super chat from Rum Hut. Gives us $4.20, now gives us $5.
Okay. I'll take the 5, you take the $4.20.
Appreciate you. Thanks, Rum Hut.
Yes. Well, Darrin, I know you have a lot going on with hockey. Hockey is big. You're going to have lots of content, and it's getting into the winter months. So, I thought, or we both thought, maybe midweek we could put a pin in it for just a little bit. Focus more on the hockey. I know you've also got some NFL stuff. You're a busy guy. You've got the CJFL stuff with the rifles going.
I had to quit my job with the Bisons. I had to tell them I can't
do
it. Yeah, volleyball, basketball. I did one football game for them this year. Yeah, it's just too much.
It's too much. And it's no fun, right? Like, if it's too much, it's not fun. And if it's not fun, we're not doing it on Bonfire. Bonfire is all about fun. It's work, right? And this is your baby. So we kind of agreed, let's put a pin on midweek for a little bit. Maybe we'll have some impromptu stuff, some not off the cuff, impromptu stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all good, buddy. We can double down our energy on After Dark, and you and Walby with pregame, game day Winnipeg. Yeah, so I just think it was just a bit of an editorial decision we made.
Sorry, I love this comment from Jeff Kabilas. I organically plan my day. LOL. Yeah, it's the way to live. That's the way to live. Yeah. I'm regretful. Bonfire Midweek was what you and I put together when you approached me back in the day about, you putting you having the Let's Go Bombers podcast, your very popular podcast, Schnitzy, here on Bonfire. And I said, let's do something together. That was Bonfire Midweek. And it's not going anywhere. It's still around. But pregame, postgame, every game. That's what we got for you here on Bonfire Sports. Going to the Grey Cup, going to be there, whether the Bombers are there or not. And new hockey coverage coming here to the channel. Trying to make sure it's what we want it to be before we roll it out. Have a new contributor, Rylan Dick of Fifth Visuals, incredibly talented photographer, videographer, editor. We're going to be doing some stuff together. But yeah, I mean, I want to provide. I want Bonfire Sports to be a place with a lot of good quality content, not just lots of content. I understand many people just want more. I don't blame you, but don't want to stretch ourselves too thin here, right? You need work-life balance. Do it nice or do it twice. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, buddy. It's a bit sad, but it's not ending forever, folks. Maybe we'll get into it in the playoffs or Grey Cup or next summer and spring. It'll be around.
Yeah. And Vicky's right. Your kids will be up soon.
Yeah, yeah. She's right. I got to go to bed.
Yeah, John Chan, 2:40 in the afternoon in Singapore. Welcome. Have a great afternoon. Everybody else, have a great morning/night. Pre-game, post-game, every game here on Bonfire Sports. Bombers are on the bye, so Walby and I will be back with Game Day Winnipeg prior to Saturday, October 21st. Schnitzy, you'll join me in the post-game the rest of the way. Regular season, playoffs, maybe even Grey Cup. But I will be in Hamilton all week for the Grey Cup. And yeah, it's your boy Bruce. He knows. What's up, Bruce? It's your boy. We're going to do pop-up shows. You never know.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Pop-up shows. There you go.
If it's appointment viewing, well, maybe not, but you can make it that by subscribing on YouTube, and you hit the notification bell, and then your phone just goes, ding, Bonfire Sports is live.
There you go.
It's easy.
Just
hit
keep
that
it
thumbs
locked
up.
in. Yeah. Keep it locked in.
Keep it locked in. All right, Schnitzy, I hope you rest well, brother. I know you got a new job to start soon. We're both starting new jobs.
Yes, I have a new job I'm going to start in the next few weeks. I just have to wait for a couple of things to. Thank you. Couple things to line up for me, and then I'm starting. So there you go. I'm on the up and up.
Yeah. Give the thumbs up.
Thumbs up, subscribe. You know when you were live, as Darrin says. That's a good line, by the way.
The podcast. Somebody does the show live and in person, and then and listens to the podcast.
That's how much I love the Bombers. I listen to all the content.
Yeah,
even if I'm listening to myself and you, but more.
Anyway, well, the Bombers are in first place. They are 12-4 in the season. Lions fall to 11-5. Winnipeg's magic number is 1. And 2 games to go in the regular season, looking like it will be a home date in the West Final on November 11th at IG Field, a.k.a. the Madhouse on Matheson. We got you covered top to bottom here on Bonfire. Hockey coming, as we mentioned. So, hey, enjoy your weekend. Happy Thanksgiving. And Schnitzy, get some rest, brother. I do not envy you having to be up with the kids tomorrow.
Well, it's my son's birthday on Sunday, and don't tell him, but we got him a bouncy castle. They're on sale on Amazon. So we have to get a bouncy castle. We're going to put it in our freaking living room because it's so cold outside. He's going to be an absolute animal, and I hope he just exhausts himself and naps on Sunday. We might even put it out tomorrow because we're just that excited to see him with his bouncy castle. So
yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Just a wonderful, memorable game. And DB, thanks to you for doing all the heavy lifting here. You put the thumbnails together, the audio, the highlights, all of it. You manage the chat.
Project.
I just get to come and sit. You know, I get to ride shotgun in a Ferrari, buddy. I just get to come on here and yak. It's great. It's great. So
it's a shell of a Ferrari. There's no engine.
Oh, come on. It's great. You rock, brother. And thank you, everyone on the chat. Happy Thanksgiving. And as always, sayonara.